All right, welcome everybody. Wash and talk on a Saturday for me, Sunday for you. It is officially the second to last day of the RS giveaway. I was gonna wash the RS. It's not dirty. There's not a frickin' speck of dust on that thing. So I went over to the garage this morning. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do the wash and talk on that. I'm like, this is frickin' stupid. Why am I gonna do this? The purple E36 is the dirtiest a car I've had has been in a while. So what the heck am I doing here? Why does my tripod not look like it's straight? So anyway, I'm gonna try out some new, although it looks the same. So this is a lower pH Obsessed Garage prototype of the Brake Buster that normally, so the stuff in here is a pH of 12, and the stuff that I'm about to use is a pH of 9. So I got a sample of this. I need a funnel of some sort. So I got this sample to test out. So I wanted to try it and see how it does. Because my wheels aren't normally very dirty, but they're pretty dirty right now. So I wanted to give this a whirl. So let's dump this back into my gallon here. And then we'll put the other stuff. Gosh, this thing ruins everything, man. It ruins the funnel. So it's ruining the finish and the anodize here. So I love Brake Buster. You know, I don't have a need for iron remover in my wheel cleaner. I just don't find it necessary. Occasionally I can hit it with some I can occasionally hit my wheels with an iron remover if I need to, but I don't find that's ever really necessary. So I like Brake Buster because it's super slick, foams really well, so it works great in the foam cannon. I might as well use this since I got it here. It smells pretty similar. It's got like a pretty pungent scent to it. So we'll just dump this all in here and we'll do a testaroo on the darn car. We'll see how it goes. So we'll just have to remember, that's the lower pH stuff, and I got plenty to test out. I need them to make me a gallon, so if I like this, I'll just have them make me some more. All right, so that's ready to go. Boom, put this in my wheel bucket. Let's get all this stuff set up. So let's do my rinse bucket. Let's pull this out. So we get this set up. Then turn our valve on. Two pressure washers. On. Kill that. Let's get our foam cannons set up. We're over here. So this is our pre-wash, auto foam, or touchless, sorry. And this will be for our GSF. You know, on this wash, let's use reset. The car's pretty dirty. It's been a while since I've used this. So let's do a reset wash on our car. That, put a little in the soap bucket over here. And we got some other good news. The new deli pad should be launched this week. So I have I'm the first one to launch it in, I believe, the world, certainly in the US. So we'll be the first one to launch these. This is I don't think it's really necessary for this car, but it's a softer pad. It has heavier, more microfiber content. It's not as pleasant of a user experience as the regular Incredipad. So this is still my favorite for washing, but it's like noticeably like a order of magnitude, you know, to your hand softer than the regular pad. But in order to maintain some integrity, there's a little bit more of a kind of a stiffer feeling on the edges, but I guess that's probably largely due to, I don't know, I think this has more wool, more viscous, so it feels a little bit fluffier, a little bit, and it has more sponge content. We had to take some of the sponge content out because the heavier, the more microfiber content means that this holds water more. So it did get a little heavy, and so Mateus and the guys, the team at Microfiber Madness, and Corey from Sky's the Limit and CarPro USA, who's the US importer for Microfiber Madness, and I have kind of been going back and forth about what this should be like, and so this was the final version of it, and so we'll be launching this here. I think probably this week is the goal, and so we'll have exclusivity for a couple of weeks anyway. So, but I think it's a worthwhile purchase. Let's fill this up. Get all this stuff ready to go over here, and then we'll start on the wheels. So I started a little bit of a new procedure here in that I took the M3 and my GT3 out several hours ago. I'll leave the cap on here and I'll leave this on the table, but I took them out several hours ago so that way I can get the garage cooled back down so it's nice and comfy in here. It's about 74. So as you can see, the car is pretty dirty, for me anyway. It's got quite a bit of dirt on it. You can see the wheels. The wheels are quite a bit caked on with dirt. I've been driving every day. It rains every single day. So the car is a little beat up from a dirt perspective, but part of the reason why we do all this work to coat it and get it prepped so that the wash cycle can be done comfortably and enjoyably. You can see things pretty gnarly for me. So that's what we're gonna work on. Oh man, my legs are sore. I got really sick. Well, not really sick, but I got a cold, a summer cold. I was dying the last couple of days. It's not fun, not fun. So I was in Helen for a week. I didn't freaking work out when I was there. So I started to make some real headway in my fitness, and not my fatness, but my fitness. And then of course, I went to Helen for a week, and when I'm there, I end up working too much. So I didn't use the darn gym that I built there. And then I got home and I got a freaking cold. So the last several days I got a cold, but then I went to the gym yesterday and now I'm hurting because I took several days off, probably 5 days off or something like that. But we're back at it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stick to my normal procedure. I like to blow off the wheels first. Some people like to put the product on first. I like to do this. And then let's see how this does. still foams quite well. That's nice. So let's see how it cleans. Certainly doesn't feel as slick. You know, the pH or the alkalinity gives it some slickness. Let's see here. So, on all my cars, all the wheels are coated, and then most of the time, I'm hoping to have carbon ceramics. So, most of us either have coated wheels or carbon ceramics or both. And so doing a heavy duty stripping wheel cleaner, even if you have like some dirty, nasty brakes, it's not super necessary, just because the coating should help the wheels stay relatively clean. I feel like it's, look at the dirt. The dirt doesn't normally make that kind of movement off the wheel like that. It feels like it's almost like it's cleaning better. Let's see what happens here. Make sure my microphone isn't messing up. It seems like, hey, I'm making a video. I feel like it's kind of dissipating quite a bit quicker. I don't know if I like that. Let's see how it does on the tires here. Now I don't have I need to clean the lugs here. Seems pretty good. I feel like I always have less to say whenever I'm assessing, trying something out here, trying something new that's an important process or a product in the process for me. I want to do lugs first.
So it's foaming. It's a little bit more watery than the traditional brake buster, which is making it kind of run off quicker, which is not my preference. But like brake buster doesn't really do that, where the kind of feels like it's taking the dirt off with it. So I'm getting the sense that the cleaning ability is a bit better. So I think if I were going to do this, I would change my procedure up a little bit. So I did the tires first. Go in here to the barrels. It does have a little less of a smell to it as well, but Dave Phillips is saying that it has the same rust inhibiting properties, or rust inhibitor stuff that the traditional brake buster has. Wow, these are dirty. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to use it more. I'm gonna have to ask for another gallon. The old dining tip's looking pretty good. Yeah, that Dr. Beasley's is still holding up on there. Let's see it. It's Dr. Beasley's metal coat. Yeah, so this car has been, now that I've kind of assessed myself, I can start talking to you here. So this car has kind of become my, at this point, it's become my daily driver, if you will, which I'm expecting the Evo to take over for that. You know, I like driving this car, but what I don't like is all the frickin' problems. Every time I drive it, something else makes a new noise or makes a new rattle or something like that. So, again, with the RS giveaway kind of rounding out here, so that car is going to disappear. I wanted to get on the plan for what am I going to do with this car. Where is this thing going to end up? What am I going to do with it? Am I going to keep it? Am I going to sell it? Am I going to do a giveaway with it? What's the plan? And I'm still not 100% sure. I'm pretty certain we're not doing a giveaway this fall with it. It's too close. So that's not in the cards for us right now. So I went and added up all my expenses on the thing. So then I thought about, what about the shock and awe and the anger that would invoke in the world if I listed this sucker for 150 grand? And then how much more anger it would have if somebody actually bought it. You know, if you wanted an E36 and you'd want to do all the running around you'd have to do, and you wanted it to be dialed in like this, and you didn't mind what comes with a 90s car, I'm always having to tweak and adjust and fix things, and it comes with the territory. I'm just not sure that I want that territory, but I don't know. So, is it worth it to someone to pay what it would take to put this car together? That's the thing, if you bought this car and you wanted to build it, it'd cost you more than 150 grand. Like if you bought one, first of all, this one was already really, really nice. You'd have to find one like this. And, so like there was no engine work that needed to be done on this car, so there's a lot of labor and a lot of expense that wasn't necessary. So imagine you bought one that was more banged up. You'd spend way more than 150 grand getting it to anywhere close to this standard. This is going to be a built Hamber touchless that we're going to foam the car down with, pre-clean it. Stuff has a really interesting smell to it. It smells like, almost kind of smells like bread, like you're baking bread.
So it doesn't smell good. It smells interesting. It doesn't smell, certainly doesn't smell bad. I don't think, unless you just had like a weird sense of smell, I don't think anybody would really dislike it. It's, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's interesting. I like it. But this is definitely part of my process now, man. Sorry to all you Europeans that I've been ragging on or fighting against for years. It's just, you know, all the snow foams that I've used and jacked up the surface. You know, especially when you're using wax and sealant, you'll always mess it up. Just not a good option for me. And so you want to get this on, let it sit for about, 4 or 5 minutes, get it off, and I'm hoping to solve the availability of this product here in the US. I tried the Koshkemi stuff a while back. Not on, I forget when, I think it was at like the Koshkemi, I forget where we did it. Maybe it was at the GT Smokies event. I don't quite remember. This to me is, I just think that there's going to be more research done on this. So, Koshkemi is a large chemical manufacturer. They've got lots of chemists. They've got lots of products. They've got, over 100 products. Built Hamber has like 9 products, 10 products. And so those 10 detailing products, Pete and his chemist have poured their heart and soul into over the last decade and a half. And so I just feel more confident in how this is working and what it's doing, and all the testing that they've done on panels that were waxed or coated to see, just to see how to test and to make sure the product is not stripping the surface but cleaning the surface. I mean, that's what we want. And that's been my argument, is that I don't want to strip off all the work I did to build this nice layer of protection. So we combine the fact that now with modern coatings, we have better protection, better chemical resistance, plus we have better chemistry with this product, and so I think we have a winner. So now this thing's going to look really clean. I want to rinse it off here. Yeah, it's nice. Like, not totally touchless. Like, I don't think you could go and live with this, like, as a final result. But this car was pretty darn dirty. Now it's pretty darn clean. And I'm telling you, if I did this with GSF or CarPro Reset, it ain't doing this level of cleaning to the car. So then, we'll do our normal reset wash here. There we go. All right, yeah. This is make me feel good. This is the only dirty car I have right now. The Evo's relatively clean because we just deconned it. The well, I don't think it's gonna rain, but my E92 is clean and my GT3 is clean. So I'm hoping to pull those right back in here after I'm done with this. After I'm done talking to you. So that's why I haven't done a wash and talk. I've been driving this, and we were gone for a little while too to Helen, doing the racing sim. I think these are my new washing shoes. Solomon X Ultra 04s. This new deli pad is a really nice size. It's just, it feels, and when I held the two pads, I think I did that with you not too long ago, it's actually not heavier, but it feels heavier. I don't know why. I think because it's not quite as plush, it's not as thick. So it gives me the feeling, the effect that it's heavier. The interesting thing about doing the pre-wash is that I find myself doing bigger sections than I normally would. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Man. So I decided on the Evo, no PPF. And it's about ready to hit the road, so I'm gonna start driving that. Then I've got a multi-pronged plan here to get me back on the road. I'm driving in the mountains and everything. Step one, lose a bunch of weight. Get physically healthy. Step two, and that's gonna be, I'm gonna start running quite a bit and riding. Running, riding, CrossFit. That's the plan. So I'm going to lose weight. I'm gonna go to a carnivore-based, meat-only program. So I'm making the transition to ketogenic this week. So we're making a 4-week transition to get to carnivore. So I don't hopefully have to have a nasty flu-looking feeling that you get. So we're making a transition to that. Then I'm gonna start cold plunging. So I'm gonna order that. I'm probably gonna order that tonight. I think I'm gonna do what was that company? And I'm gonna do it out on the pool deck area. I've got a spot for it. The other thing I'm gonna do is I did this before in 2014 when I couldn't drive. I got like a Ziploc bag and I put 5 Xanax in, even though I'm kind of deathly afraid of taking that stuff. But almost as a placebo, that I put it in the glove box, that if I could, if I got stuck somewhere, I could just take one of those and hopefully kill the anxiety. But it worked really well for me in the past in that I never actually took one of them, but I just had it there as like a placebo crutch. So, and then the Evo, so that's what I bought the Evo for. And I can confidently say that I don't have this, even with this car, I don't have this, the love affair with the Evo that I have with these other cars. Like, this car has been a lifelong pursuit for me. The Evo was one of the cars that I was really interested in getting back in the early 2000s, but it wasn't like this car was to me. And so it's really nice. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
interesting and exciting to drive, but not, I don't think, you know, we'll see, I'll let you know. But I don't think, it's not gonna like add a bunch of stress to my existence. And then I'm going to make a strong commitment to, because what I'll do oftentimes, I'll avoid driving altogether. Just won't do it. Because it's impossible to explain. But I just won't go. I'll be like, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Same thing with eating. I'll eat properly tomorrow. I'll work out properly tomorrow. You know, we all do this in some form or fashion. Maybe not all, but most people do it. I wish I would just let go and just say, I'm not doing it. I'm not driving. I'm just gonna eat whatever I want. But the whole time I'm thinking about it, obsessing over it. That's the big problem. I'm telling you, I think about driving and not being able to drive and where I might drive next, when it's gonna happen, at least 90% of the day. So if I could just let that go, then I'll probably be able to do it. All right, let's rinse her off. I like this pad a lot, man. This might be I might be making the transition to doing this fully, using that pad. This thing is freaking beautiful, man, this car. Man, it's like, I have zero desire to like change the wheels or really change anything on it. The only thing I want to do is get the stereo tuned. I need to rewire the head unit to make it speaker level. Because the line level, the RCA outputs don't have very much voltage out. Jose and I are going to fix the. We're going to make a video on it. I think you're going to think it's pretty cool. We're going to fix the failed spot, the clear spot that's failed. When I polished, must have been a sanded nib from the factory. So there's a dull spot right here. And so we're gonna fix that. And then the paint is really, really nice. The car is really, really good. But there's a clunk. What's happening is there's the rear shocks. There's a bolt, so there's a bolt goes up through, and then there's a nut, a nylock nut that goes on top, and it clamps down. But those bolts, so I'm gonna try to get some grade 10 bolts. Because you have to really torque them down to keep it from doing any kind of moving, the clamping force over time, the bolts, they were grade 8 bolts, they stretched out. I tried to give it another quarter turn and I snapped the bolts in half. And so I'm gonna try to get some grade 10 bolts for that. And then, so if I get the stereo done, get that little spot done, and then if I do the bolts, this thing is ready to go. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably make a video like sort of informally listing it. And so let me blow it off, and then we can talk about the how ridiculous I am about thinking this car's worth so much. First hit the rotors with Atomac.
crank up the AC here a little bit. It's kind of getting hot. It's a little humid, so we'll let it help us out here. So let's think about this logically here. You know, I know some people are going to freak out, especially when I list this thing. So let's forget about selling it. Let's just think about, okay, I want an E36. Now for me, I don't know that I would pay this. I don't know that I would pay a premium, because I guess I probably would, but I like the project. And also, well, I definitely would, because think about the EAG cars that I bought. So I bought the, you know, my E92, I bought an EAG. But here's the thing, you know, EAG doesn't know how to do what I know how to do. You know, they get the car like maybe 90%, 80, 90% of the way there. My E92, I spent months and spent 50 grand on parts and process and getting that thing perfected the way that I wanted it to be, you know, to make it OEM plus. They only really know how to make it OEM, and even then, you know, they weren't, it's, you know, again, an EAG car is a good starting point for me. It's not, certainly not an ending point. So, but imagine, so I'm gonna buy a, you use that example, I'm gonna buy an EAG car, so I'm gonna overpay for that. So I'm gonna pay a premium. You know, this car wasn't for sale, so I paid, what, 45,000 bucks for this car. And so that's what I'm generally gonna end up doing. And that's what many, you know, many wealthy dudes are gonna do, you know, that aren't in this game like I am. They're gonna look for the best car. And then, so again, let's say you find the best car. It's kind of humid in here, so that's why I'm having to wipe a little bit more. So you find a really nice car, but it's really hard to find a really, really nice car that doesn't still need some work, because pretty much every single car guy doesn't know how to take care of a car properly. You know, we're just now starting to get people starting to learn how to do this. So, you know, the paint is generally a little jacked up, the interior is a little jacked up, there's always some things that need to be fixed. Even my Evo, that was the best version of a used car, if you will. Shoot, it was almost better than new cars that I've gotten. But it's still, you know, it's requiring me, especially if I'm gonna go the OEM Plus route, it requires me to do a bunch of work, like tons of work, tons and tons and tons of work to make it OEM Plus. Because, I mean, if you're not in the world, I talked about this in on the podcast the other day, yesterday, when I was sitting in the RS. You know, I've kind of listed the houses that I've bought in my lifetime, and you know, all the losses that I've taken. And I could do the same thing with cars. I don't buy cars to collect them. When you do that, you have to make such sacrifices in what you actually want. Generally, not always, unless you're just really good at it. And you know, some people are. But generally speaking, you're always going to you're going to have to get the car that you may or may not want at the timing that's the right timing to get it, and then you end up, you know, having to hold it probably longer than you'd like, and you have to store it, and then you have issues with storing it and all that stuff, because then, you know, you have problems with gas and tires and all that kind of stuff, and then you start nickel and diming tires and parts and pieces, and you become a freaking car dealer where you're just trying to make a profit. And so car dealers can't, even the likes of Enthusiast Auto Group, they can't just spend an infinite amount of money, because there is a market value for a specific car. So anyway, let's use this car as an example. Let's say I bought this from EAG. It was already pretty well sorted. But I still needed to do all kinds of interior repairs, and the door cards were acceptable, but they're not, quite. This car had 36,000 miles on it. It's been garage kept pretty much its whole life, but had all kinds of problems that I had to fix, largely just due to the platform. These cars kind of melt and fall apart, even when they're well maintained and well taken care of and garage kept and all that stuff. So, you could buy a $50,000 or $60,000 version of the car, but chances are most of the things, the coolant system, the power steering system, the yellow tag power steering rack, none of that stuff's been done. EAG is not doing any of that stuff. And so chances are the car that you're getting doesn't have any of that stuff done if you buy a really, really nice one, because the cars, it's all about keeping it original. So what I'm always looking for is as an original a car as I can get, and then I get to modify it, you know, because I'm not living life trying to, you know, make this great investment return. I'm buying the cars that I want to own and want to experience. Maybe someday I'll invest in cars and then my philosophy would change. But most of us that have cars, you're buying them to drive them, to enjoy them, to use them, to modify them, to you know, to take pictures of it, to play with it. You know, it's a toy. So I like this game of finding a pretty original looking awesome machine, and then I'm going to do whatever I would have done to it had it been new off the dealership lot. So that's where all the time and money comes in. So let's say you buy this car for $50K in the condition I bought it. Now I've got to go and start tearing it apart to get all the rubber trim, get the, you know, the interior basically completely redone. I had to do a bunch of paint. You know, I had to paint the front clip. I had to paint, you know, the fenders of the car. And then some would say, well, then you just ruined and devalued the car. But again, we're not doing this for value. We're doing this to make the car great. All right? I'm not looking to keep and hold the investment value. What I'm looking for is to make the car super drivable, really, really nice, really, really clean. I'm looking to make it OEM plus, but like new as I can get it. And so then you start spending money on all this stuff. So let's say, you're me, you buy the car for 50 grand. You then have to, let's say you're not me, you don't know how to do the work. So you're hiring out people to do all the parts. So you have the dealership do some stuff, which they're going to charge you top dollar. You're going to have the, some independent guys do some stuff. You've got alignments, you've got interior work, you've got, rubber work. You've got to go get the windows tinted. You got to go find a painter. You got to then do, find a guy to do your suspension, do all your aftermarket parts. And you're spending, tens of thousands of dollars driving around and, paying people to do all this stuff. And you're having to pay, extra markups to the people to do all the parts. And it adds up really, really quickly. And then you've just got the time, right? So do you have someone on staff that's going to drive the thing around or trailer the car around to take it to all the places it needs to go to? You know what, you need it. And then do you know all the people? Do you have an amazing dent guy? Do you have a good paint guy? Do you have a dry ice person? Is the dry ice person going to go to the extent that's necessary? And so, yes, you're going to buy a car like this. If you want it to be like this, you can do it. And you can do it for a lot less than 150 grand. You can do it, but you're going to pay a lot more than 150 grand to do it. Now, for those that want to do it, I'm all for it. I want to do it. I don't want to buy the car that's already done because I don't really trust anybody to do it to this level. Now, this car is not perfect. It's not even close. If I wanted it perfection, I would have taken every nut and bolt off it and I would have repainted the whole thing. But I didn't want to do that because then there's some pros and cons to doing that. The car probably doesn't go back together quite the way it came apart. And so you have to sort of draw the line. So I think I'm pretty good at drawing the line. So now the thing I'm going to test, so I don't particularly want to sell it, but I kind of feel complete with it. And it's kind of a lot of money I have sitting here in the car. When I'd like to do another one, like maybe an E36, or again, I'd like to get a new NSX. I'd like to get a 458 Speciale at some point here. And so I'd like to do some giveaways and try some other things. And until I build my garage, I don't really I don't really like having to move cars around all the time. And because of my lack of ability to drive a lot, it's kind of stupid to have so many cars, have so much money tied up in it. So that was the point of doing the giveaway, And so I'm gonna test the theory, and I'm gonna list the car. I'm gonna go add everything up. You know, what did I spend on it? And is that worth something? You know, if you wanted to have a E36 at this level, and you didn't want to do all the stuff I just mentioned, you know, would you just pay for it? Because you really can't buy this. No one's doing this. You'd have to basically subcontract it out yourself. You'd have to find all these individual practitioners, paint correction specialist, parts specialist. You'd have to do some real shopping. You'd have to find the expertise of people to leverage, like I was able to leverage, you know, Michael Waba, who's already done this before and loves these cars and has been doing research on them for his whole life, or most of his adult life anyway. And so are you gonna have access to that kind of stuff? So what's that worth? And to many of you, you're gonna say it's worth nothing. So, well, I think to somebody, it might be worth it. It's not worth it to me to sell this car for 75 grand. I'd rather just keep it. If I could buy this car in this condition for 75 G's, I'd do it right now. And I'd have two of them that I don't really want, that I don't really need. But you can't. It doesn't exist. Because as soon as I got the thing, I'd have to spend another 50 grand or more to get it to be as nice as this one. You know, putting a stereo in it, the stereo's 10 grand, and then the car has to sit there for months. And so, you know, it was like a 2-year process to get the darn thing to where it's at. Even having all the access that I have and doing all the work that we did, it still took 2 years to get this thing. And I still have more work to do, I just told you. Gotta mess with the bolts. We had to fix the darn sunroof. It just keeps going, you know. It's all those things. If you're just a, you know, regular, well-off dude who loves E36s, the struggle, and this is why most cars sit in people's garages, because the struggle comes in. And let's say you're a successful physician or something, you don't have time to be shuttling the car, but you don't have people to go and drive the car around and take it to get served, and then you end up with a slightly janked, half-working, fancy car in the garage because, you know, you don't know somebody to do the power steering system and all that stuff. So that's what I'm gonna add it up, list it, get laughed at, and someone will probably buy it. And if they don't, I'll keep it. Or maybe somebody will make me an offer, and, you know, and I'll just say, you know, I'll take the 95 grand. Right? At this point, I'm not interested in that, but so that's what I'm gonna try. You know, I don't want to get in this position where I'm just doing giveaways every frickin' 5 seconds. The point of the giveaway is to create engagement and to connect with people and to, you know, find new following. And so I don't want to beat that to death. But the great news for me is the RS giveaway was a massive success. Everything worked out great. We gained lots of new followers. We gained probably lots of new customers. We got to deliver and sell all kinds of cool stuff. It's not done yet, so if you made it this far in the video and you haven't participated, I'd ask you right now, click the link in the description, go to obsessedgarage.com, buy $1,000 worth of stuff, and help me finance the next purchase of the next car to share with you. I know some people don't like that, but that's how business works. You know, you've got to sell stuff to people. You got to have people believe in what you're doing, your product, your service, whatever you're doing, in order for it to be successful. And so, if you're not in business or you don't understand it, most people don't
don't like that, but don't like you asking for help. But I'm asking you for help. Yeah, but the RS giveaway is, I think I probably, I haven't looked at the reports that the guys sent me yet for Friday, but I want to say we're probably about $500,000 in profit in the car. You know, what did I say? I'm $296,000 in it. So, but then, you know, I have all of the expenses of the, you know, the legal and all that crap that I've had to pay to get the, you know, to do the giveaway and bond in the various states. And then 2 states, New York and Florida. And then I had to, you know, pay all the salaries and stuff of all the guys and all the work and all the videos and all that stuff. And then if you added my time in, that 500 grand probably means we've broken even. Because the amount of time, energy, money you have to spend to even do something like that. But then what I'm hoping is that doing things like this, or even the kind of the shock and awe of me listing an E36 M3 for 150 grand creates something, some positive, some negative. Hopefully the giveaway of the RS was much more positive than negative. But even some negative publicity is still publicity, you know. There is some residual benefit to that. The really cool thing about this car is the fact that it's as if it's 96 and I just bought this thing, and it's as if the thing has, you know, like 3,200 miles on it, not 38,000 miles on it. Because everything is freaking sweet, clean. Again, some modifications. I think the right modifications. You may, you know, argue one way or the other on that, but I think the general consensus of BMW dudes would agree that, you know, there may be some slight adjustments taste-wise that people, you know, might change, but generally speaking, this is well done. And so what you would do if you were going to buy this, like what I would do if I would buy this, then I would do the few things that I thought, you know, to adjust for taste, or maybe go a little bit further with some modifications. But you can skip all of the pain and suffering of the lion's share of all the detail that goes into getting this thing to be like this. All dried off here. I do want to do an interior wipe down and vacuum. The vacuum systems have been shipping. I think the black Cox hose reels are inbound, so I think we shipped out all the systems, or we've shipped out the first batch of systems. I think the second batch is coming here this week. So we're rolling through, shipping those out to people. But the vacuum system's freaking sweet. Clean up this wheel real quickly. I'll do the others. I'll come back to you and we'll do the interior together. So that's drying aid, a couple of 12x12 towels, wheel cleaning towels. These things hold up amazingly well, man. I beat the crap out of these things and cleaning dirty tires. They wash out like they're brand new. Occasionally you retain a little bit of staining, but generally speaking, they last. I mean, these are at least 6 months old. I've done probably Probably been washed and used 15 times maybe. Tire dressing. Yeah, so jury's out on the lower pH. I don't want to feel like it loses any, major functionality. I think it's pretty good, but I want to use it some more before I give you a stamp of approval. All right, so I'm going to clean up the rest of the wheels here. I'll come back to you in a minute. A little bit of interior clean. Oh, it's not very dirty in here at all. It's going to be very working on, at some point we'll figure out a sock, a hose sock for this that works really well. All the ones we've gotten a hold of are junk. I have to bring all the updated accessories home. These are the originals. Like we have a better version of this and a shorter version of this. That's about all I need. Quick little, this to me is the best part about having the darn vacuum cleaner is that I don't have to get anything out. Listen how quiet it is. I mean, you hear the little bit of whistling from the vacuum. Even if you had the vacuum in here in the garage, I'd still be able to carry on a conversation with you. Just grab the end. It's really freaking good. And I'm just take a little bit of interior cleaner. Griot's interior cleaner's coming. I think we'll have it in the next couple of days. Pumped. There's just a couple of spots. The car's really clean. A little dusting here. Dang, this thing is freaking beautiful. And the other thing I wanted to do, what we do is take a little bit WD-40, put it on the towel, and then we use that to clean up the white chalkiness on our red seatbelt. That's it. All right, everyone, that's a wrap. Just wipe the excess off the tires here. Do me a favor, if you care at all about wash and talks, if you've gotten any value out of these over the years, if you're not subscribed, it'd help me a lot if you could click the darn subscribe button. But secondly, go to obsessgarage.com, buy something for the RS giveaway. I'd really appreciate it. So if you got any value out of these wash and talks over the years, or maybe you haven't bought anything, even if you just go on and buy a digital entry, I'd really be real appreciative of that. But thanks for being here. Thanks for watching me all these years. This is my favorite thing to do. Wash a car in my garage or outside of my garage in the winter months when it's not so darn hot outside. Chat with you. You know, it's been a life-changing experience. So the doing big things like the GT3 RS giveaway are because of, you know, this, you know, doing this kind of authentic stuff online. So anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. We'll see you on the next one. See you soon.